what could possibly be more fun than driving a Lightning F-150? Well, we think that it's going to be driving one that's been modified. So, hey guys, I'm Nathan with Town & Country TV, and today we're going to attempt to level our F-150 Lightning by putting a 2-inch ReadyLift kit on, and we're going to see if it works. We have no idea if it's going to work or not. We're going to give it a try. This is actually the first time this truck has ever been on a lift. We just put it on just a few seconds ago, so we're going to give it a try. We're going to see if it works, and we're going to take you along the journey, and you guys are going to get to see us install it or attempt to install it. And then if it does work out, we are going to do a little bit of a range test again. Mitchell's going to go take it for a drive and see how much the leveling kit affects its range. Okay, so since this is the first time we were able to get this truck on a lift, we just had to lift it up higher than we normally need to do this, this leveling kit on it, but we want to be able to take a look at the underside. So if you'll just come on over here, we're going to take a look at the rear of it first. First thing you can notice is this massive lower control arm on the rear suspension. So, you know, it does have a motor in the rear that it has to support and all the weight from the battery. So you can just see how massive it is. And then also we've got, this is new on an F-150 other than, you know, the Raptor. The Raptor doesn't have leaf springs, but this one doesn't either. You know, you have independent rear suspension. You do have a full coilover strut. And then you've also got here, you can see this huge skid plate that is protecting the motor. And then also it's running the whole length of the truck, going all the way up to the front, covering the battery and everything else. So really the underside of it is just one big sheet of metal that's broken up into different sections for serviceability. But the really cool thing about that is not only is it giving it a lot of protection, but it should also help it be more aerodynamic and less spots for air to get caught. So, you know, that's something cool to see. And actually, you know, we were taking a look at it, and the skid plates, they're no joke. Them things are thick and heavy, and so that should provide a lot of protection for all the sensitive components that are under here. As you can see, you know, we've got one, of course, on the front motor as well. And then if you look at the suspension up front, aside from, you know, the fact that there's, you know, an electric motor up here, the front suspension looks very, very similar to what it does on a normal F-150. So we have high hopes. We're going to see if this leveling kit works. Again, we have no clue, but we're going to give it a try, and we're going to let you know how it goes. All right, so we got one side of the truck torn apart now, and so we're just going to take a quick look at the difference on the coils and the strut assembly on these trucks. So this one is from a normal 22 F-150. So this is from a gas engine. It's actually from a 3.5 liter EcoBoost, but it's the same on all of them. And as you can see, this one right here on your right is the one from the F-150 Lightning. And at a quick glance, they look identical. They look like the exact same thing. We did look at part numbers. They are different part numbers. And if you can tell, the actual coils on the one for the Lightning are significantly thicker than they are on a normal F-150. You know, you got to think about how much these electric trucks weigh. You know, with the battery and everything, these are very, very heavy trucks. So it's got to have a lot thicker coil to be able to support that weight difference. And what we're going to show you here in a second is really cool, is that the pattern for the studs on the top hat here are actually identical too. So we're going to see how the spacer fits on there and how it mounts up. All right, so we've got the ReadyLift spacer here on a normal 21 F-150 strut tower. And as you can see, this is how it fits. You know, everything fits just right. You know, it's machined just for this strut. And it does have a little bit of a gap here, right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to try and move it over to the Lightning one and see if it fits and what that gap looks like. All right, so as you can see, this is looking like it's going to be some exciting news for us today. This actually fits perfect. It fits just like it does on a normal strut. So we're going to go ahead and bolt this thing on. We're going to put it in the truck and see how it goes. All right, so we got some exciting news. You know, you guys saw that spacer mounted to the top of the strut tower just like a normal F-150, and everything is getting bolted up just like a normal truck. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to go ahead and continue rolling with finishing the install here on the driver's side, and then once he's done with that, he's going to break down that passenger side and do it there too, and we should have a leveled F-150 Lightning. We're going to take a real quick look at the rear suspension on the Lightning. So, you know, as we talked about before, when we got a look underneath of it, it is an independent rear suspension. Now, we're not going to do anything to this truck other than just level it, so we're really only messing with the front of the suspension. But since we have it here and it's already on the lift, we want to go ahead and make sure we at least get a closer look at the suspension on the rear and just talk about what's the future of being able to lift you know, an electric F-150 or anything really that has an independent rear suspension like this on a pickup truck. And so as you can see, you know, there is a lower control arm, you know, that would not normally be there on a truck, since you would typically have a solid axle on the rear. Here we don't. We have independent suspension, so we have a lower control arm. And the way that it mounts up is kind of unique too. It doesn't really mount up like it does on the front. So when we think about trying to be able to lift the rear of an electric truck, it's going to be a lot more complicated, because, you know, like on a Bronco, which has independent, or does not have independent rear suspension, I'm sorry, but doesn't have leaf springs, it does have a coil, you can add spacers to it. But if you were to add spacers to the top of this strut and the rear of this truck, what it's going to do is it's going to take your lower control arm and it's going to swing it down. So what that means is that the center of the wheel is going to shift it towards the front of the truck, and that's going to put everything out of alignment. That'd probably really mess up your CV axles here, the angles, all the degrees on that with the rear motor. You know, that's going to push all that way down too. So who knows? I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see what lift companies come out with. You know, they may have to have some kind of bracket to drop the lower control arm here, have a spacer for the strut, and then also maybe even have some kind of mount to drop that rear motor as well, in order for it to get, you know, any kind of lift in the rear. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, what people come out with. But I'm really not sure that, you know, we're going to see electric trucks that are lifted 6 inches. That'd be a really, you know, difficult thing to do engineering wise. But, you know, a lot of great companies out there are going to come out with something. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now we get a good look of what we're going from and what we're going to now that we've got the truck leveled. So this is the factory wheel that came on the truck, and as you can see, it's an okay looking wheel. It's not our favorite, so that's why we went ahead and decided to do something a little bit different. But you know, these wheels are made specifically to be more aerodynamic and provide less resistance and everything. So you know, that's a lot of why it's designed and looks the way that it does. And over here, we're going to go with the Black Rhino Rapid. This is going to be a 20x9 wheel with a positive 12 offset. So it's going to be a little less aerodynamic, and you know, it's going to have a little bit more poke. And of course, we're going with a bigger tire. We're going with a 295/60/20, which is going to give us a 34. So we're going to go ahead and weigh these and see, you know, what kind of difference in weight are we going to get going from the factory wheels to our aftermarket wheel and tires. All right, so it looks like we got about 74 pounds on the factory. All right, now let's see how much our new wheel and tire setup weighs. All right, so we're looking at about 96 pounds. So it's about roughly a 20-pound difference per wheel and tire. So we're gonna add about another 80 pounds or so to the truck. So we'll see how that affects our range. All right, so today is a day full of firsts for the F-150 Lightning. We've got here, we're gonna just try and see if the speedometer calibrator works. So far we've been lucky. You know, the leveling kits work just fine. We got some wheels and tires on here. And I know we haven't showed this on video before, but so what we got here is we have a wheel speed tool. So you do have to, on the F-150, remove the entire instrument cluster out. And it's an inline tool that plugs into the screen here. And basically what it does is it's providing a new signal to the screen, letting your truck know what speed it's actually going with the new tire size. So everything's plugged in right now so far. We're gonna go ahead and put the screen back in, get it all plugged back up, crank it, and hopefully it'll work. So we'll find out. All right, so one of the most important things is you wanna make sure that you do with any suspension work done, doesn't matter if it's a level or a lift kit, you wanna make sure you get an alignment done and an alignment check. You know, even though you may be able to do this lift kit or this level kit at home, you know, you still need to take it somewhere that has an alignment machine that can properly make sure everything's aligned, because if you don't, you're likely to wear out suspension components, your tires, whatever, you know, anything that can affect that. So make sure that no matter what, any level kit or any lift kit, that you get an alignment done. All right, well, we did it. It worked. We got the first ever leveled F-150 Lightning. The ReadyLift 2-inch leveling kit fit perfectly. So, you know, if that's something you guys want, you want to plan on for your truck, make sure to let us know. Feel free to give us a call. But real quick, we're just going to do a walk around and show you what we did to it. So, you know, we've showed you the leveling kit we've got on there, and then we went ahead and put on the Black Rhino Rapids in a 20x9 positive 12 offset with a 295/60R20 Nitto Ridge Grappler, which comes out to about a 34 by 11.5 inch wide tire. And great news is we're able to fit this tire without doing any other modifications other than the leveling kit. No trimming was required. We're able to keep intact the front crash bars as well. So there you go. There's our leveled F-150 Lightning. Last thing is, I guess I'm gonna be nice to Mitchell for his range test. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in and give him a full charge. So I'll hand it off to you, Mitchell. We'll see how far you get.
Well, as you can see, Nathan and the TC Customs team absolutely killed it. I do want to say a huge thank you to them. If you guys are interested in the part that we used for the leveling kit, I'll have that linked down below so you can check that out and purchase it on our website. One thing that I really liked about it is that we didn't have to cut or trim the studs to make that leveling kit work. Believe it or not, there's a lot of different leveling kits out there that you have to trim those studs to make that leveling kit work. But anyways, so yeah, I'm super excited. We're going to do the range test exactly like we did the last one. The air conditioner is going to be set at 72 on automatic, the 3-speed, the high speed of the automatic. I will tell you that the car actually says it's 106 degrees right now, which I think that's probably a little bit inaccurate, but you know what, according to my Apple Watch, the high is going to be 97 degrees today, and we're going to be driving in the middle of that high temperature. So keep in mind that's going to affect the range without question, but either way, it's going to be a non-scientific, just a real-world application of what does this thing get as far as range on the interstate in a leveled F-150 Lightning. Let's get it. So we've been on the interstate for just a little bit of time now, and a couple of things to note: that the range is obviously dropping pretty quickly as far as the truck is trying to relearn everything about the range of the vehicle. Keep in mind that we just got through doing a range test on this truck, and it got right at 230 miles on a single charge, which is a reminder, this is the standard range battery. This is not the extended range. So this Ford F-150 Lightning got exactly what Ford and the EPA have estimated it to get, was 230 miles. Well, when we slap the leveling kit, the wheels, and the tires, that's a lot of extra rolling mass. It's going to take the computer system a little bit of time to relearn with the algorithm exactly what kind of range you're going to get. Now, eventually, after we've had a couple of cycles through the battery, the truck's going to understand what it can actually do, and it'll start displaying accurate range estimates on the front end. But for right now, since we just got through doing it, it's going to take it a little bit of time. Also, I want to point out to you the actual vehicle itself and the way that it's equipped. This one is a Lariat 510A package. And so basically, this is the lower version of the Ford F-150 Lariat trim level. And why is that important? Well, it comes with adaptive cruise control and it comes with the lane centering, but it does not have Blue Cruise. The reason I bring that up is because this leveling kit and pretty much every leveling kit and lift kit on the market says that this product has not been tested using Blue Cruise. And so at this time, since we haven't had a chance to test it ourselves and the manufacturers are actually telling you not to use it, if you've got a Lightning with Blue Cruise, I would stay away from leveling or lifting the vehicle, because as that vehicle is leveled out, what's going to happen is those cameras and sensors are going to be shooting up too high. And so there's a risk that if you're trying to go hands-free, that the cameras might not see what it's supposed to be seeing. And keep in mind that everything is calibrated for this particular suspension setup. And then when you modify it and you don't have the ability to update everything, it could cause some problems. So all of that to say, if you've got Blue Cruise, stay away from modifying the suspension until someone comes out with something that has been tested properly. All right, so a quick update for you. As you can see, we are at 52% battery, and you can see exactly where the energy went, but basically we're 95 miles in on that 52% battery. And the reason I'm filming this is because this is going to be our exit. The DC level 3 fast charger is actually located right on this exit. This is going to be the end destination, but what I need to do is keep driving past to burn off the rest of this range, which, by the way, the vehicle says I have 101 miles of estimated range left. And once I've burned off the rest of that range, about half of it, so I'm going to drive another 50 miles past the actual fast charger, turn around, come back, and then finish up to find out exactly how many miles did we drive on this particular charge. And if I haven't already mentioned it, I'll say it again. We did recalibrate the speedometer on the vehicle. You saw the actual process of them installing it, but what we didn't tell you is that we also calibrate it within 1 mile per hour using a GPS satellite speedometer. So that way we can verify that according to GPS satellites and compared to the truck, they are within 1 mile per hour. So I think this is going to be a pretty accurate test, even though it's not super scientific. All right, we are dead 50% battery left remaining. The vehicle estimates 96 miles until the charge is empty. As you can see, we're cruising along right at 71 miles per hour. And yeah, we can even show you the details of exactly how far we went. So on this particular trip,
vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Oh, thank you, Waze. As you can see, 99 miles on the odometer, or on the trip meter rather. And as you can see, this is the data for this particular trip. As you can see, 99.6 miles. We're doing 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour. And as you can see, 4% of our battery went to the climate use. As I've mentioned to you, it's extremely hot. Looks like the temperature has equaled out about 92 degrees. Like I said, it'll get up to 97 today. But 91% of our battery went to the actual driving of the vehicle, 4% accessories, and 1% external temperature. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this thing all plays out. All right, so a quick little update for you. A thing popped up on the dashboard and it says, smash that like button. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding. Smash the like button. But what it actually says is driving range low. So once you hit into 50 miles until the battery is depleted, it gives you that little pop-up window. So while we're in it, we'll go ahead and give you guys an update on the rest of the stats of the truck and how it's performing and things like that. So when you swap over to the calm screen, you can actually see how much battery is left. We are sitting right at 26% battery left. And as I'm saying this right now, 47 miles until the charge is empty. And we're looking at 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour. That is going to be the efficiency of the vehicle right here. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We've got 47 miles left until empty, got 33 miles until we get to our level 3 fast charger that I showed you guys just a second ago. So I have no issues with being able to get to the charger. I'm not going to run this thing all the way out quite like I did on the Mustang Mach-E. By the way, if you want to see what happens when you run completely out of gas in your electric vehicle, click the video that's up there. It's absolutely wild. You need to kind of see what happens there. But do that, I guess, after this video is over. So let's see if we can make it to the charger without running out of range. So I guess we forgot to mention to you exactly how many miles we have been on this particular charge. 146 miles so far with 46 miles worth of range. So it's going to be looking, you know, pretty, not too shabby. Yes, I do have my hands on the steering wheel. That is the most frustrating thing about the adaptive cruise control with lane centering. If you're on a nice long straight interstate, kind of like I am, and you have the lane centering on, if you're going perfectly straight, and the truck is tracking perfectly straight, even if you have your hands on the steering wheel, it can feel that sensor and you kind of have to wiggle the steering wheel. Now, keep in mind, you definitely need to keep your hands on the steering wheel with the lane centering 100% of the time. But sometimes the truck can't tell that you've got your hand on the steering wheel if the interstate is super straight. So, yeah, I don't know about that. And yes, we did have to cross state lines for this range test, so I wasn't joking earlier when I said smash that like button. So another quick update on the F-150 Lightning range test. As you can see, this particular vehicle has popped up a message that says driving range low, reduce climate use for more range. Now, as I've already mentioned to you, we have been leaving the climate control at exactly 72 with the automatic setting on high. So that way, no matter what, it's going to keep this thing as comfortable as possible. It's designed to be most real world of a range test. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and clear out the numbers here just to kind of give you another update. We've got 167 miles on the trip meter. Once again, we did recalibrate the speedometer, so we know that that is accurate. And then we have another 24 miles worth of range left to go. So it's gonna be very, very interesting. I'm shooting and hoping that we can get somewhere close to 200 miles on this single charge. All right, with 18 miles worth of range left on the battery pack, we've got 2 miles until we get to the Electrify America DC fast charger. We're gonna go ahead and get off of this interstate exit, but I'm gonna see how close we can get it to 0 miles until empty But the goal is to not let the truck run completely out of energy and leave me stranded on the side of the road. That is not the goal. Today's goal is to see exactly how far we can go at the last minute. And yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get off at this exit. We're going to drive past the charger and basically just kind of get it as close to zero as we can before we creep on into the actual fast charger. And there are our fast chargers. So let's go ahead and pull in and see what the results are. And here is the total results. We have got 9 miles left of range, and we went 186.5 miles. So when you add those two up, you're looking at almost 196 miles on a single charge with those bigger Nitto tires, with the leveling kit, and with the wheels as well. Now, the other thing I want to show you guys is the actual trip energy for this particular trip, which is trip 1. Once again, redundant information up here. This is what's really cool. 2 miles per kilowatt hour. Keep in mind that in stock form, we were able to get 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. And this was pretty consistent as well. It stayed at about 1.9, 2.0 across the entire trip here. But once again, 4% of our battery range went to the climate use, 93% went to driving, 3% to accessories, and 0% went to exterior temperature. I don't know if I buy that because as of right now, it is 94 degrees. So let's go ahead and charge it back up. So this particular charger is good for up to 350 kilowatts. Keep in mind, this is the standard range battery pack, so it does not accept nearly as fast of a charge as the extended range battery. The extended range battery has a dual charger setup. By the way, that doesn't mean there's 2 charge ports. That means there's 2 chargers built into the battery packs, and it can kind of charge them simultaneously. So now let's do this. Let's go ahead and see how seamless the charging setup is. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it up. You may not be able to see because the glare is pretty nasty, but you can see that it automatically connected to the vehicle. It saw that I've got the Ford Pass app on my phone connected with the credit card and the free charging. They give you 250 kilowatts of free charging, and it automatically initiated the charge. I didn't have to swipe my credit card. I didn't have to do anything. It's all automated when you're doing that. So make sure that you keep in mind also that when you're setting up or looking to set up that 250 kilowatts worth of free charging, you have to do that on the front end. Don't wait till you get to the actual charger to do that, because Ford does have to go in and authorize. Since they're giving you free charging, they have to actually go in and, I don't know if it's manual or just takes a little bit of time, but they have to approve you to get that 250 kilowatts worth of charging. But once you're set up, you are good to go. And as you can see, we've got 5% state of charge. And it is 11:42 in the morning, and as you can see, 0 minutes worth of charge time and barely any charging set up. Oh, now take a look at this. 141 kilowatts worth of charging speed. So once again, the bigger battery pack is supposed to charge faster, but this should not be a big problem. While we are waiting for it to charge to 80%, because we're not going to take it to 100%, but while we're waiting on that, let's talk about my driving impressions of these wheels and the tires. If you guys have been watching our channel for any point in time, you know that I'm a massive Nitto Ridge Grappler fan. And Black Rhino is also a fantastic wheel. We're a dealer for both of those, and we've had really good luck out of all of those. I will tell you though that not having an internal combustion engine makes the F-150 Lightning the quietest pickup truck Ford has ever made. Now the downside to that is it does allow you to hear the tires more than you would if it were a internal combustion engine. Now, are the tires loud? Absolutely not. But for my first time in history, I've actually been able to hear tire noise out of the Nitto Ridge Grapplers. And it's not saying that it's loud and obnoxious, it's just louder than those street-going tires that you guys have seen on the same vehicle prior to us customizing it. While we're waiting on this thing to finish filling back up, charging, while we're waiting on this thing to charge back up, let's talk about the range numbers a little bit more, because this is pretty important. This thing, between the amount of miles we drove and had left of range before we plugged it up, you're talking 196 miles, in 90+ degree weather. That is not too bad, especially when you compare that to this exact same vehicle in stock form did 226 miles using the same kind of calculation. So if you're only going to be giving up 30 miles worth of range on a vehicle when you get to have it look like this, to me that is a no-brainer. When you put that into percentages, it's even more understandable that you might want to consider doing a leveling kit and tires. You're talking about what, 13% worth of your range is only lost with those bigger, beefier, meatier tires, which will also give you a little bit better off-road capability. Once again, if you're looking for extreme off-road capability, you might need to consider the Bronco, not the Lightning, but man, this might be that best package all the way around. All right, and that is 80% charge. As you can see, it's dropping off quickly down to 46 kilowatts. So it's very, very interesting to see how much faster that thing charges in a normal state. But when it gets above 80%, it's pretty much history, or the speed is anyways. We spent 41 minutes. I'm calling this out because I'm not sure if the glare is going to keep you from being able to see any of this. But we did 41 minutes on the charging time. It would have cost me $13 to do this fast charge, and we delivered 76.58 kilowatt hours to the vehicle itself. So let's go ahead and hit stop there. This is not, however, where we're going to stop the video. Now that we've got back to an 80% charge, let's get in it and actually feel what the acceleration is with these massive, meaty tires. All right, as I'm driving around trying to find a nice, safe spot so we can do a little bit of acceleration runs, I just want to kind of reiterate how painless that charging experience is. You may not know, but I used to be one of those EV critics. I was really kind of skeptical of, you know, oh, you can't take it on a long distance trip, or you can't do this, you can't do that. And on long distance trips, I do get it that it's a little less convenient, especially if you've got the smaller battery pack, if you're going long distance. But realistically, in my world, I don't do that all that often. You know, with a 320 mile range of the extended pack that I have ordered, now that I've experienced fast charging quite a few different times, I'm starting to think I can live with an electric vehicle a lot better than I thought I could originally before starting this whole process. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. And I'm also one of those kind of people that don't buy an EV because I'm trying to save the earth, because I understand that the electricity that takes to power this kind of vehicle in the state of Alabama, a lot of it comes from, you know, inefficient coal-fired, power plants. And I'm not, naive to that fact. My reason for liking the EV is the fact that it's fun, it's efficient, it's cheaper right now, definitely cheaper. We've got a video on that. You can click on the cards and take a look at that. But realistically, it's kind of the speed. It's the combination of everything else has kind of just made it more of a convenient vehicle. So now that we've got a nice stretch for an on-ramp, let's feel out. Okay, still chirp the tires. So I can confirm, you can still chirp the tires in an all-wheel drive Ford F-150 Lightning with a set of 34-inch tires. That is incredible. Okay, yep, I know what my verdict is. There is absolutely no reason not to go with a leveling kit, wheels and tires, with one exception, Blue Cruise, because I don't know how much that's going to screw up your Blue Cruise, so I can't recommend that. But if you've got one like this that doesn't have Blue Cruise, oh, this is awesome. Doing 60 miles an hour, yeah. I mean, it's not Ford GT fast, but for a pickup truck, it'll smoke any other F-150 pickup truck they've got out there. With the exception of the Whipple supercharged F-150s that we customize here at the dealership. And shameless plug, we do have Whipple superchargers in stock right now. Also Roush superchargers in stock if you want to check out tccustoms.com. I'll leave some links down for this product, this leveling kit. Also leave links down for the wheels as well. And also leave if you've got a gas-powered V8 F-150, I'll leave the links down for the superchargers as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It's been really a whole lot of fun delivering to you guys what I believe to be the world's first leveled F-150 Lightning on 34-inch tires. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a long video, but thank you for sticking in. all the way through the end. We greatly appreciate it. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to hit us up down below. I'd love to meet up with you guys there, and hit that thumbs up button. I know I've asked for that already before, but it really does go a long way in making sure this video makes it to other people who need to see it. But the most important thing is make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss a single video. Peace!